Thank you. So while the president's team is making legal challenges to the election, Judicial Watch has been busy with its own independent investigations in 6 battleground states. What can you tell us about those efforts?
Well, we're using the state open records laws to examine what went on in these states. We want to know about how Dominion was used in these states. We want access to the ballots under law to see for ourselves what the ballots show. We need independent audits of what went on because evidently big tech doesn't want anything to be done. Big media doesn't want anything to be done. And frankly, the president's team is focused on one state here, one state there, and we're looking at the whole picture here.
What really just blows my mind is after 4 years of hearing Russia, 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 foreign interference in our elections, here we find these companies, these voting systems that are either foreign owned, such as Dominion, a Canadian company, or they have servers overseas. Does that raise your alarm bells, raise your suspicions?
Well, the one thing that does raise my suspicion is the involvement of this Dominion systems in elections across the country, especially given the big error that took place up there in Michigan. I reviewed the explanation local officials had about what happened there, and it was a combination of human error and it looks like a software update that wasn't appropriately uploaded. And it's the sort of thing that you would think, well, is that happening somewhere else? So even the innocent explanation requires a second look of how the system was used in the various states it was used. And the Smartmatic system, which is separate than Dominion, is based, as far as I can tell. I mean, that company was set up by buddies of Hugo Chavez. There's no doubt about it. And they should be nowhere near our elections. So let's be clear here. You've got these computer systems that are at issue, but separately and as substantially, you've got government officials, specifically in Pennsylvania, acting as if they have something to hide by refusing to let observers come in, as you pointed out in your opening monologue, come in and watch in any serious way, watch these ballots being counted. When you're illicitly counting ballots, you got to be suspicious. And when the numbers are 680,000 ballots that were illicitly counted, that could turn the whole election out.
It definitely could. And also we see that this year that the rejection rate for mail-in ballots was much lower than it normally is, which is kind of iffy there. And as well, you were saying that these poll watchers were being kicked out, so they couldn't really verify a lot of these ballots. And your, Judicial Watch, for months leading up to this election, you guys were sounding the alarm bells, saying, hey, there's as many as around 1.82 million, extra registered voters, dirty voter rolls, as you were saying.
Yeah, in Pennsylvania, 800,000 extra names in the rolls, according to our lawsuit. In Michigan, 654,000 extra names, according to the most recent data. Clark County, Nevada, that's Las Vegas, 154,000 extra names just in Clark County alone. So the voting rolls across the nation are a mess. They're bad at Fulton County, Georgia, horribly dirty voter registration rolls. And so those names are, some of them are inactive, meaning they haven't voted in a long time. But the fact that the rolls are dirty and haven't been cleaned suggests they should not be relied on, certainly if you're going to start mailing ballot applications to them blindly. And that's why when you're counting ballots that come in from the mails, given that the lists are so dirty and you're not seeing people in person, you've got to have all the checks, all the security checks in place, like basic observation by one of the parties involved, the president's campaign, in this instance in Pennsylvania, which evidently didn't happen.